Hey guys, this is Jacob, otherwise known as JayJax. We're back. Dark Souls. We're back in Blighttown. Because, of course we are. So, last time we got through the entrance. We took the front entrance. We picked up the Yaito. And we made it to the first bonfire. And now we're just gonna work our way through Blighttown the front way. Because of course we are. And in case you are wondering, we did take the master key as our starting gift. We're just not using it. I will say this bastard sword's put in work for us though, which is kind of nice. Imminent trap. Yep. So you can't lock... Because there's so many places to fall down, it's really hard to lock... Oh shit. It's really hard to lock your camera. Oh, because then your movement gets all messed up. Alright. A parry will do the trick, I think. Soul of a Lost Undead. Interestingly enough, they do drop soul items. That's something that's noteworthy. I don't know of any other enemies that drop soul items in their drop table. Correct me if I'm wrong. I often am. So be wary of fall. Yes, that is a thing that happens here on occasion. I wonder if you can go around here. You can't. See if I can just get back up here. Oh, there's a kill plane. That's alright. Kind of wanted to see how far I could walk around that. Sorry, I shouldn't be doing any kind of fucking around like that. We're trying to make our way through here. Not mess around in Blighttown for weeks, because if you're dead set on exploring all the ways you can die here, you're gonna be here for a minute or two. Wait, can we get our souls? There we... At first I thought we couldn't get our souls without going down there, which would all but guarantee our death, and I was a little bit worried there. There's another guy. And there's another one up there too. So remember what I mentioned, how aggro in this area works, and you can often aggro enemies you didn't realize. That is most definitely the case here. We've probably got lizards running at us from just a lot of different directions right now. So this actually takes us back up to where we were earlier. So had we gone that way first, it would have taken us right down here. Nice. Always fun to fall through the breakaway floor. You love to see it. I love that for me. There you get a treat to the overly sexual hit noises of the characters in this game. That's always good for a laugh. Okay, so how to return. Oh, we have to walk across this stupid thing again. Oh, God. Oh, God. I should have taken that slower. Okay. So we're going to work our way back. Because we fell into one of the many traps of Blighttown. And then that was why we got thrown further back. There's a lot of those. So get used to that. Get used to thinking you made progress only for the game to go, oh no, not today. Yep, that is the drop right there. So if you come down from that ledge, you will fall straight through. Always a good time. Oh, he's not dead. Perfect. I'll probably see him in 3 minutes or so. So I do like that I can pretty reliably 3-hit them with my light attacks while I'm one-handing this thing. Because this does allow me to play somewhat more defensively. Oh, hey, he found me. He's working his way around. He'll get here eventually. He's trying his best, guys. Give him a minute. Okay, so this is where we were earlier. There was an item there, so we don't need to go back here. Oh, there's some dogs. Wonder when they're going to get here. Picked up an item there as well. Alright, let's get over to this bridge area where we actually have a little bit of room to fight. Okay, we need to seek shelter behind here because I'm not trying to get toxic. So these dogs actually do a respectable amount of damage. Even with their little lunge attacks, despite being about the size of chihuahuas or something. They do a pretty serious amount of damage. Because of course they do. It wouldn't really be Blighttown if they weren't difficult to hit and hit really hard. That's a weird... I don't think I've ever parried that attack successfully. That super delayed backhand. It's just an awkward attack to deal with in every sense of the word. So we need to, in order to get up to this guy... Because that's our goal here, is to get up to the guy blowing darts. I'm going to drop down, I guess. Maybe right here. And here you see a giant cool chaos bug. As soon as I'm certain that we're not going to get attacked, which you can almost never be in this area, I'm going to show you my recommended way to deal with that big chaos bug. Is he dead? He's not dead. Of course he's not dead. Alright. Working forward slowly. I think you can already get a glimpse of why this area kind of sucks. Oh, in case you didn't have enough of a glimpse, you just saw another reason this area sucks. Those are mosquitoes. And if you're like, Jacob, why did that mosquito fly through the floor? It is because they were not programmed with collision. Those mosquitoes do not consider the floors, the walls, the ceiling. They just gravitate towards you however the hell they please. The reason this is the case is because it would be damn near impossible to program that. Am I going to poison this guy? I don't think I'm gonna. Yeah, I don't think I can even poison him. Okay, that's fine. We'll deal with that another way. I normally would suggest you shoot poison arrows at this guy. And in fact, if I were by a bonfire and I had enough souls, I might be inclined to do exactly that. I don't have any poison knives, do I? I have dung pies. But nothing really significant poison-wise. So, we're going to deal with him a different way. But if you have the dexterity to use a bow and have poison arrows on hand, my suggestion would most definitely be to just hit that guy with a few poison arrows and then just go about the rest of your adventure. Because we saw him now. We're not actually going to encounter him for another 5 or 10 minutes. So, you know, feel free to take your time. The Eagle Shield used to be absolutely amazing. It actually got nerfed because it was so powerful. We can't fast forward with it. Because it was so unbelievably powerful. It had 100% physical block and 70 stability, which is absurd. And it was actually really light and had low stat requirements, so pretty much anybody could use it with minimal investment. And everybody was just becoming a tank. You know, regardless of the rest of their build, they were able to just be kind of a brick shithouse. So here's the guy. Here he is. He steps on us. Do you think he's disgusting? Me too. Let's get our fire out. See if that does a good amount of damage to him. It does, actually. It does a ton of damage now that I'm looking at it. But, again, our fire is heavily upgraded. He's not too difficult to deal with. And he drops what is maybe one of the best spells in the game, Power Within. A spell that drastically increases your damage output, but at the cost of your health. You slowly drain health while you're under the effects of Power Within, but you do an absurd amount of damage. So, something that used to actually be pretty funny about Power Within, that's definitely worth bringing up, the damage that you took, the player, the caster of the spell, used to scale with the level of your Pyromancer flame. So, if you were a high-level Pyromancer, your Power Within actually did a lot of damage to you. So, for a while, people would have 2 Pyromancy flames. They would have an upgraded one for all of their spells, and they would have a Pyromancy flame plus 0 for Power Within, just so that they didn't murder themselves whenever they were trying to do additional damage. It was kind of a funny situation. But that has since been changed. The damage is now a flat number. So you don't have to double dip on your Pyromancer flames anymore. So we've got another cave. Another big group of guys, or another group of big guys. Wow, that was not who I meant to backstab, but whatever, that works. That actually is probably better. Okay. So we're working our way down. Normally this tunnel right here, I kind of view as the halfway point in Blighttown. This is like when you start actually making progress through the upper area. In all reality, though, there is a lower area of Blighttown, and it's no less shitty. So, you know, who the hell am I kidding? This isn't getting any better anytime soon. Try jumping off. That's actually good advice. There is an item down there. It is a bit of a reference, what that item is. But yeah, we're actually going to jump off. We're actually going to take that advice, I think. There's the whip. This is actually an Indiana Jones reference. The whip at the bottom of the pit. So, how do we get back up? I believe we can drop down here. Yeah, we can. Perfect. And this was, I believe, a location we were at earlier. Oh no, this is actually significantly lower. As you can see, I don't often come this way through Blighttown, so my inexperience through this path is going to show. Because why would you ever come here if you didn't have to? The enemies aren't even really worth a lot of souls. Like, if you notice, I've cleared a good chunk of this area, and I started this episode with about 8,000 souls, and I'm only up to 13,300. Like, I haven't really even gotten significantly stronger. It's just really not particularly worth it to come down here. So this is where we were before. So we're going to continue. Just at no point have you ever gone through the front half of Blighttown and been like, man, I'm glad I went the front way of Blighttown. And I think that's kind of a general consensus among Dark Souls players, is that this is never the right idea. You almost always see the front half of Blighttown in these kind of magnum opus playthroughs of Dark Souls players. Because, you know, much like I'm doing, like I'm trying to do all of the areas, this is generally when you see this area. Because if this were a casual playthrough, there is no way in hell I would be here. I just wouldn't. There's a couple things I come in and grab from Blighttown, and they can all be gathered the back way. This is actually a cool thing. So this is the Wanderer set. It is kind of noteworthy. The Wanderer was the first class I ever used. So we're going to switch out some of this gear, see if we can still fast roll. We can. Okay, so we're going to do that. Neat. See if the Wanderer, the manchets are better. They are. So we're going to try to switch as much of this as we can. It's a little heavier. We can still fast roll. Cool. So we have made an armor upgrade. And I actually really like the look of the Wanderer set. Is the Wanderer hood any better? I'm not... So this is the Wanderer hood. I'm going to keep the Thief mask because I really like the Thief mask. But the Wanderer hood is kind of superior in enough ways for it to be considered better. It is nice that we can kill these big bugs with one heavy attack. It is awful that these little bugs exist, and again, the reason they are at such an odd angle is because they do not register collision with the environment. So there's a not small number of players who just simply don't possess the ability to hit them. Because like right now, oh, we have to wait for them to drop down, and they actually inflict poison on you. So yeah, they're terrible. But again, I mean, it makes sense why they would ignore collision. The reason they ignore collision is because pathing for an enemy that doesn't that can fly in an area this complicated is damn near impossible. I mean, the coding involved would be astronomical. That having been said, I'm pretty sure this area would be objectively better without the bugs entirely. So I think we should have just scrapped them myself. If you were running into that kind of coding issue. Because they are a bit immersion breaking to have a giant mosquito attack you through the floor. But, you know, it happens. Couple bugs. Plunging attacks have a significantly wider hitbox than you would think based on their animation. So you're generally able to get these massive plunging attacks. Okay, so where are we in relation to... Is there anything that's attacking us right now? Okay, cool. So you're going to come across... Another thing that's awesome about Blighttown is that you're just slow in this swamp. And the swamp poisons you for existing in it. So that's pretty cool. Nothing quite like having your movement severely disabled and be suffering slow but sure damage over time as a result. That's another really neat feature of Blighttown. So we're actually going to do a bit of exploring down here against all of my wishes, because there's a few things down here that we want to get. Actually, a decent number of things down here that we want to get. They did hide, again, chain backwards. This chest is safe. They did hide a decent amount of stuff back here. The bottom of the lower Blighttown does have some shit in it. For better or for worse. So what we are going to do when we explore lower Blighttown, we're actually going to rest down here first. And we're going to do... hey, how you doing, T12? Welcome to the stream. We have one level. We're not really going to bother spending it. We're going to keep going towards our strength goal of 25. I'm actually also going to kindle this bonfire. Oh shit, I gotta reverse hollowing. Okay. We're going to reverse our hollowing and become human. This makes us susceptible to invasions, but it also makes us susceptible to a specific invasion that we're looking for. And that's an NPC invasion. And I'll kind of go over the history of this one when it shows up. It'll probably happen literally the second I stand up, honestly. She normally doesn't wait long. Come on, girl. There she is, Maneater Mildred. So, Maneater Mildred's kind of funny. She's more of a developer inside joke. She doesn't have any lore significance. When they were playtesting the game, the developers would make these characters to invade other devs who were testing things, and Maneater Mildred is one of them. And she just kind of stuck around because she's funny to have this naked old lady in the swamp that invades you. She's not too difficult. Her attacks are pretty telegraphed, relatively easy to parry, and she also drops her butcher knife, which is a cool little strength weapon. Let's see here. Yeah, requires 24 strength. Not the strongest attack. And it's got this weird two-handed... I believe that's a unique animation. I'm not sure. I honestly don't use that weapon too much. So I'm not positive exactly. Alright, so we are going to explore Blighttown. This is lower Blighttown. God, I freaking hate this place. So there's some things we need to get, and once we get them, we can leave. And before we fight the boss, I actually would like to show the back way into Blighttown. God, these mosquitoes are the absolute worst. I would like to show the shortcut into Blighttown, so that you, or the back way, so that you guys can see just exactly how objectively superior it is. Because again, the front way into Blighttown is just dog shit in every sense of the word. All right, at least this bastard sword's making short work of pretty much everything down here. So we are going to switch to the rusted iron ring. It's going to allow us to have, this is what allows us to run at full speed in this swamp. And we're going to eat one of these. Nom 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 nom. Okay. So we did take a little bit of damage from the poison. Poison honestly doesn't hurt that much. It's not necessarily it's not necessarily life-changing if you want to just have the rusted iron ring and just charge through here and kind of Estus through. That's, again, not a terrible strategy. So these giant disgusting leeches, apart from being an absolutely repulsive enemy, are an amazing source of upgrade material. You find green titanite shards in stacks of 5 from these guys, stacks of up to 5 from these guys. This is actually a really effective farming location. If you're crazy enough to come down here and spend any meaningful amount of time down here, you will be rewarded for being in Lower Blighttown with upgrade material. Trying to see if I can't get a drop here. Again, see if you'll notice, I am technically poisoned. The damage is pretty low. It's not life-changing or anything. You can kind of just, heal through it. Especially if you have the evil eye ring equipped. A very popular farming method is to equip the ring of the evil eye and the rusted iron ring, and then you can pretty much just run through here and use killing these enemies to top off your health and just basically eat the poison. The reason we're not doing that is because we have the ring of favor and protection equipped, and we're not ready to break it yet. Because I don't know if you recall, when you remove that ring, it does break. We probably shouldn't have put it on so early, but I honestly never really take it off in a playthrough anyway. I tend to just kill Maneater Mildred, get a few extra Estus flasks, and heal my way through this if I'm ever headed down here. If you'll notice, when I killed Maneater Mildred, I did get 2 extra Estus flasks. So kindling the bonfire plus getting that kill generally means that I have the resources necessary to traverse this area pretty safely. Not that I have any desire to traverse this area. This is actually a significantly, statistically significant low amount of drops that I'm getting here. It is possible to miss drops. If you notice, there we go, 5 green titanite shards. It is possible to miss drops here because these guys' upper body is so bulbous that the glow sometimes doesn't shine through. So there's the server. It is a strength weapon. Cool thing about it is imbued with frightful occult energy. It heals you when you get a kill with it. It's kind of a weird weapon. Scales with dexterity more than strength, which means it's not really for us in this playthrough. But it does give you a little bit of health back with each kill. Again, in this area, that's pretty noteworthy because healing a little bit can counteract poison relatively effectively. So we are going to go through the swamp, though. When I explore this place, I kind of just run against the walls. I definitely am not interested in getting lost down here. So I just hug the walls, and I just... But if you do choose to farm here, make sure that after every one of these kills, you push these bodies around to try to see if there's anything in there. Because again, that glow sometimes doesn't come through. Alright. So here we have a really cool thing that I will show you. Not this time, but we're definitely coming back here. Actually, no, we'll do this now. We'll do this now. So we have a secret wall. And I know what you're thinking. Neat, secret wall. Oh, cool, treasure chest. So there's normally some writing on the floor here, but there isn't this time. Yeah, there's another secret wall back here. And what's behind here actually is kind of shocking. It's not only a secret, it is a complete hidden area. The Great Hollow. So we're not going to go down to the Great Hollow just yet. I just kind of wanted to show off that it was here. It is really, really cool that they hid it this way. I mean, it's one thing to hide a treasure chest or something, but like when you imagine the kind of work that a studio goes through to create a full area, a full locale, to just hide that behind a secret wall because it fits with the lore. I mean, that shows some respect for your game, honestly. The developers were willing for players to miss some of their work, and that's not normally something that's the case. There's another green Titanite shard. We got that from that corpse, though. That wasn't a drop. We're not going to run into toxic anymore, so we can get rid of that. We're going to keep working our way around. We've done most of... I say most of Lower Blighttown. There isn't a ton more to this swamp outside of just bullshit, which you see we are experiencing in full force. This is actually the way we got down here. We've already been here before. I'm just committing bug murder because it's cathartic to me. There is an item down here that we're going to get. And it is just a soul item. Lot of standard, I don't want to say useless grabbables, but, you know, a lot of useless grabbables down here. There's that bonfire where we were at earlier. And we're going to cross over again to pick up a few more items. So in between running through the swamp, I try to let my poison meter go down a little bit. Yeah, there's actually two people that we want to talk to that we just caught vision of. If you're particularly sharp-eyed, you caught both of them, because I did. But if you're paying attention, you would have seen just now two NPCs, unrelated to one another, but that we're going to interact with. Nonetheless. And they're actually both related to some of the things we wanted to accomplish prior to coming down here. Those two NPCs are why we didn't come down here earlier. Also, it is nice to be better equipped before you come down here, just because of how big of a pain in the ass this area is. Yeah, these guys also suck. So these are the same giants from earlier, but they're wielding rocks instead of clubs. Thing about rocks is that they're way harder to parry than clubs. I'm actually not even sure you can parry them. I always just backstab them. Great club. This is another pretty cool strength weapon. Hits like a truck, as you would expect. Requires 28 strength to wield. Giant tree branch. So we can... And it uses 80% of our stamina. It's a good weapon for just absolutely destroying something. Fun weapon to use. I don't have a ton of experience with it. Again, I don't use a lot of strength weapons too often. But it is a neat weapon nonetheless. We might actually use it this playthrough. I'm not really sure, to be honest with you. Alright, so now we're going to interact with a few NPCs. Come here. Come here, bug. We got to talk to somebody. Hey, I recognize you. You're the guy from the woods. In case you haven't put two and two together, we had to visit the woods to get this guy to appear.
But why you are here? How about some equipment? I love to end, you know.
He gives us a gesture, which is pretty neat. He also is a merchant who sells some pretty crazy and rare gear. I mean, demon great machete, stone great sword, just some pretty powerful stuff. Demon great axe. It's interesting the kind of stuff he sells. But yeah, he sells some pretty cool and rare gear. Also, you can tell he's got his ninja bodyguard back here. But yeah, he will now kind of alternate between this area and the forest, and will sell us interesting and simultaneously rare gear. The real star of the show, though, that we're here to see is this young lady over here. Excuse me, ma'am. So this... Okay, I'll let her... This is Quaylana. She is one of the... she's an ancient pyromancer. She definitely very, very powerful. Sells some very old, very potent spells. Undead Rapport is like a charm spell. It's pretty cool. Turns one of your enemies into an ally. It's very useful. Fire Whip. I mean, she has great Fireball, Firestorm. Like, these are some of your high-level pyromancies. We already have Combustion, but she sells great Combustion. So we're not going to buy anything from her just yet.
No luck. Well, young, but do not keep me waiting.
So what causes her to appear is having your pyromancy flame be +10. So that was kind of one of the reasons I wanted to do the forest and everything before we came down here, is we needed the souls to get our flame to +10. But I don't know. I kind of want to buy something from her. Let's buy... do we want Fire Orb? Flaming Fire Orbs. Man, we're so close to like some of these really powerful ones, like Great Fireball. Let's use some soul items and buy Great Fireball. Or rather, a soul item. Ma'am, I would like one great fireball, please. And I'm going to buy another combustion. Just because if I get more attunement slots, you can equip multiple of the same spell. And combustion's one of those things that you're going to use a lot of, I can imagine. It's just a really good fire attack. Alright, let's see if... Actually, something that's cool that's noteworthy about her. Oh, wow. Okay, so just kidding. Oh, yeah, these bugs retreat from her. There's like a field around her that the bugs won't enter. I'm not quite sure what caused them to dip in and attack me. I think it was that I stepped out and aggroed them. But, you know, wait here long enough and you can have a decent amount of bugs just kind of hanging out here. But they won't tend to bother her much. Let's see what... Yeah, so she was the teacher of Solomon the Pyromancer, who was the teacher of the Pyromancer that's at Firelink. I actually don't remember his name. Laurentius of the Great Swamp. His teacher's teacher was Solomon, and she was Solomon's teacher. Always fear the flame, lest you be. And so, if you'll notice, there's kind of a difference in the ancient, in the older arts, in the way they viewed it. You know, she says, "Always fear the flame." It's to be feared. You need to be very careful when manipulating it. Yeah, right. No kidding. Whereas, you know, modern pyromancers kind of view it as like, you know, fire being like the ultimate fantasy. You know, they don't have as much of a healthy respect for it as the OGs seem to. That's just kind of something I noticed. I don't know if it's really lore significant or if it really is just a quirk of translation of their dialogue or something like that, but... Alright, so we're going to work our way through here. We're going to try to kill as much of the shit down here as we can or can stand to. Yeah, I would love for her to tell me your secrets for getting rid of these stupid mosquitoes, because I am tired of spamming purple moss so that I'm not poisoned. Excuse me. I really would like to backstab you. If you wouldn't mind receiving a backstab, I'd appreciate it. Gonna heal up. So you can see poison, while it is an annoyance, it's not a game ender. It doesn't really do that much damage. But it's just a pain in the ass, honestly. So the boss of this area is right up here in this big cocoon looking thing. But we're actually not going to go there just yet. We're going to scope out the back way. So this is the boss right here, okay? I want you to remember that, because I'm going to show you the back way into Blighttown, the way that I take 99 times out of 100 in every playthrough. So you saw Blighttown. Blighttown sucked. It was not fun. Stuff was coming at us from every angle. Floor was falling out from underneath us. It just wasn't a good time for anybody involved. There's a big lift. It takes us right up here. And here's a ladder. And there is an enemy. There are a few enemies on this path, for sure. There's even a dart guy above me. Actually, there's a bunch of dart guys. There is a bit of a difficult encounter up here. And we're gonna go ahead and do that. So we are going to re-equip our blooming purple clumps because we might get toxic here. So there's a little armada of these guys that shoot the little darts. They're a pain in the ass for sure, but again, they don't respawn. So if you just kind of work your way around slowly and hide behind your spider shield, which is the only shield in the game that eats these darts no problem. To my knowledge. I don't think any other shields do. The spider shield is significant in that it blocks these poison darts. Okay, there's a blooming purple clump. There's also, you can kind of see them. There's some dogs down here. We're going to show off the very expansive hitbox of our drop attack, and there's a Firekeeper soul. That's pretty much the big reason why we wanted to come here. That's going to allow us to upgrade our Estus flasks one more time. And we are dead, actually. Nice. Well, we'll add one. We'll add one. Those dogs deal a ton of damage. There's really not a whole lot I can say about that. But that's okay. Because we can just run right back up. It's not a particularly difficult run back. And believe it or not, we were almost to the location I wanted to show you. So again, I want you to remember how close everything is in proximity to this big wheel. We come down, we take this elevator. There's the merchant, there's the other NPC, there's the bonfire. Literally everything that's important to come here for is right here. Like, if you weren't concerned with all of the items we just grabbed in the swamp, and you were just concerned with progressing the storylines, then 98% of the reason to come down to Blighttown even, you're within seconds the second you come down here. And again, these dark guys have not respawned with the exception of the one that I did not kill. So we're going to, I hope he doesn't fall. This one tends to, for some reason, fall down a lot. Oh, I actually wish he would, because I don't have a way to hit him. Let's use a firebomb. Oh, you would, jerk. Nice. Okay, so we're going to try this out. Okay, a little higher. That looked like it would hit. What the hell? I'd like to speak to Miyazaki himself about that fireball. That definitely looks like it should hit. Somebody get Miyazaki on the phone. least I killed that bug. Ow, you jerk. Okay, we're gonna get this guy, don't worry. We needed to wait for him to adjust himself like that. Okay, cool. Yeah, that was fun, wasn't it? Isn't Blighttown the best? Really cool enemies and stuff that don't suck. Okay, so speaking of enemies that don't suck, man, does Fireball just have a really pathetic range that I don't remember? Full disclosure, I don't use a ton of magic in this game. So there's a distinct possibility that I'm just not remembering Fireball having a really pathetic range. But it seems to have a really pathetic range. We're not going to mess with those dogs. We will instead mess with these two because we don't really have much of a choice. So how do... Oh, we can climb back up here. I'm just looking for like some weird jump to go down, but we can always just use the ladder, I guess. That's probably the best way to do it. Alright, so there's a few more things we want to grab here. But again, I do want you to take note of how close we are to everything that's important. I mean, because that's going to come into play here in about 2 minutes. Here's another armor set, as well as a backwards chain chest with a sorcery in it. A very helpful sorcery if you're going to be traveling this area. Remedy cures poison. And it allows you to kind of traverse this area very safely. And those red robes are pretty decent robes. They don't offer a ton in the way of defense, but they're very light, and they offer decent resistances. Nothing amazing, but a hell of a lot better than what the sorcerer starts with. So if you are running a sorcerer, it's not a terrible idea to run down here and grab those robes. What you really are interested in is that tin banishment catalyst. It's a staff that's made out of metal, so its heavy attack is a actual thrust, and it does not insignificant damage. You actually don't really have to have a... Normally as a sorcerer, you kind of want to have a melee weapon anyway. You know, just a long sword or something that you can run around with while you're not casting spells, but with that tin banishment catalyst, it's not really necessary. Key to New Londo Ruins. That's going to come into play later. So let's deal with some enemies real quick, and then I'm going to show you where we are. And you're going to go, what the hell, Jacob? Why would anybody do Blighttown? And the answer to that is, fuck if I know. Just a parry god right now. These guys are pretty easy to deal with parry-wise. Utilizing the iframes there while you're in the parry animation, you are invulnerable to any sort of attacks. So we hit the parry, and then we made sure to initiate the follow-up, the riposte, very quickly as a way of dodging the attack from the other giant. So here we are, the Valley of Drakes. This is the start of the goddamn game. This elevator takes you up to Firelink. You can literally come down here, run here, and take the elevator down, and you're at that boss. No muss, no fuss, no Blighttown, no depths with curse frogs, no none of that. You just you go up, you kill the gargoyle, you come down this one, and you kill her. And that's your Bells of Awakening. Everything after that first boss up until now can be skipped if you just want to take this route. It's absurd how much of the game can be cut out if you know where you're going. And again, that's kind of a testament to the developers. A lot of these shortcuts do have a lore significance to them. And just a significance with the cohesion of the world. And for them to say, okay, we've designed 3 or 4 areas that the player can totally just miss or skip, you know, shows an impressive respect for the material. Alright, so we're going to get our rusted iron ring out. And we're going to go hunt ourselves a boss. We are going to... Hey, there's Quaylana again. Okay, so we're gonna make sure to be human for this fight. There's really nothing that I necessarily need. We'll just put that back on. Oh, we can't just use it. Damn it. Okay, just kidding. We're not gonna bother with it. You can summon Maneater Mildred for this fight, and she is very, very helpful. We are going to switch out to our Dragon Crest shield, which has phenomenal fire resistance, because this boss deals fire damage. Amazing chest ahead. If you play Dark Souls, you get that joke. If you don't, then you think I'm just being a perv. Which is acceptable. This is the Chaos Witch Quelaag. So, something that's noteworthy about fighting her is that her entire human part is like a stagger point. So, like, if you hit her human body, she will stagger. Which is noteworthy because ranged builds and sorcery builds are really able to take advantage of that by just spamming attacks on her sensitive bit. Other than that, her attacks are pretty telegraphed. She's got a burst AoE attack that you can kind of see coming, because she hugs the spider a little bit when she's preparing for it. We might not even see it, because we are hitting pretty hard. There it is. There it is. Oh. If you saw her out of the corner of the screen, she kind of hugged the spider. Huh. Fair trade, Quelaag. Let's run back. I've never had that happen before. But we might be able to do something additional now, which is kind of nice. We're just going to keep these here.
Truth be told, the Witch of Isolith, please do not speak.
So she doesn't want us to talk
My mother and sisters.
about
Now,
Quelaag.
roaming these parts, failing and pretending to seek answers.
See, even this bug turns around and isn't about it.
Nancy, but remember always.
What's the rush? So she mentions that she is related to Quelaag, the lady that we just killed, the spider lady. Again, kind of wild that we traded that kill. But that's okay. We're just going to run in and grab our souls. They're going to be sitting right here. And in the meantime, we are going to swap back to our Grass Crest shield. This is going to be our running around shield unless we have a specific reason not to use it. Just because of the stamina regen is so beneficial for us. Because it even helps us if we're wearing the shield on our back. Which is kind of a unique benefit. So here's the second Bell of Awakening. And Bell awakens what, might you ask? This big guy. Who then opens up this gate for us. This gate, which is located very close to where the blacksmith is. So we'll be headed back in that direction. You can see there's the first Bell of Awakening. That roof is where we fought the gargoyles on the left. So yeah, that's all. That all connects. We're not going to head back there right away. There's actually another boss that we need to kill. So we need to, real quick, roll through this wall. And we need to talk to this guy. This guy's name is Engi. But you have no eggs. So we, so this is a firekeeper. Excuse me, sir. We cannot speak her, we can't speak her language. But we do know she is a firekeeper, and we are going to enter her covenant and become a chaos servant. What this gets us is the spell Great Chaos Fireball. And so what we want to do, let's see how many humanity we have. Oh, we have plenty. Okay. $11. Use 19. So we have 30 humanity. We're going to offer humanity, all 30 of them. 30 is the magic number for her. We are maxing out this covenant. We learn Chaos Storm. And yeah, so that's, there's some benefits here. Obviously we learn a new spell. But in particular, there is something worth noting that we have access to, and you'll, if you again, if you're privy to the game, you'll know. We're gonna go boom, and we're gonna get our dexterity to 15, just so we're not gated for bows and things. We're also going to attune magic. I want to have great... I want to have Chaos Fireball specifically. Oh, it uses 2 slots. Okay. I want to have that equipped. I don't know if you necessarily have to have it equipped for this, but it's also a really cool spell. It's an extremely powerful pyromancy that leaves behind a bunch of lava. Pretty neat. Okay. So there's a bunch of lore that you can actually... One of the starting gifts allows you to speak to her. Allows you to speak her language. But since we took the master key, we cannot. But she, basically, she's dying. And that humanity we're giving her strengthens her. Okay, so here are the demon ruins. And we're actually... This is the home of the other boss that we're going to hunt down real quick. And I use the term boss loosely because he's not aggressive. Yet. He's not aggressive yet. You can see all this lava down here, and you can see some enemies. Like there's a Capra demon. There's a boss that we fought earlier. There's some Tauros demons. That's a boss that we fought earlier. So now we're at a point where the bosses that we encountered, we're kind of in their home world now. We're in their home turf. We're realizing they weren't particularly unique. And so, I'm thinking again, Fog Gate. Be wary of armor. That's actually a pretty good tooltip. So there's a couple ways to start the fight with this boss. One of them is to damage him. You can attack him with a ranged attack because he's not actually aware, or he's not actually close enough to you to hit with melee yet. And another I'm going to show you. Okay, we're gonna switch our pyromancy flame to our left hand so that we have a bare hand in our right. I kind of want to show something off. So this is Ceaseless Discharge. We can target him. He's obviously an enemy. That is his face. He's chained. He is bound. There's some big chains down here that you can see. But he is bound this way. And he is endlessly discharging lava. It's pouring out of his veins. If this guy looks sad, it's because he's sad as hell. Like, this guy does not want to be here at all. So, there's a corpse back here. This is the second way you can aggro this boss. So before we do that, though, we can fight this boss straight up. There is a kill that we're going to go for that a lot of people believed, until they tried it, they believed it was a glitch. It is not. We are going to mercy kill this boss. But as soon as we pillage this corpse, which is not coincidentally splayed out on a pyre, or not on a pyre, but on a slab, and in a place that looks like it was put here carefully. We're gonna rob this corpse, and he is pissed about that. And he just one-shot us. Goddamn. Okay, so yeah, Ceaseless Discharge is no joke, but we got to go down and talk to him. The armor we got is actually the same armor. It's actually really good. Holy shit. It's actually really good. It's better than what we're wearing. Are we going to wear the gold hem stuff? It's not as good as the gloves. Oh, the skirt's really good too. Alright, so this is our new gear set right now. We are full-blown ring wraiths, guys. And we're still light rolling. We have made a across-the-board armor upgrade. We're actually going to switch out to the Dragon Crest shield because we're going to have some fire to deal with, as you can tell by the lava guy. So now he's pissed. We have robbed a grave that he has taken the time to... we've robbed a corpse, rather, that he has taken the time to put out in honor. And he's not a fan of that. So we need to go get our souls. I'm wondering... I'm hoping that we didn't mess something up since we died. We'll see. I also find it funny that with this armor set, you're barefoot. So you can see your feet while you run. Wait, is he... Oh, no, he's not. He's still bound. He's still bound. Okay, just kidding. So if you see, one of his arms is still strapped across his chest. He is still bound. So we're going to bring him back here. We're going to try to get our souls. He has this awful... Oh, he just tore his arm free. Be mindful of that animation, because that is important. In order to do what we're about to do, he has to have torn his arm free. So now both of his arms are available. See how he tore it out of how it was held in his chest? He tore it out of that chest region. So we could just wait for him to slam his arm down and then attack his arm. That is a way to deal with this fight. Or we can, after we get this armor, we can leave. And if, and only if, try jumping off, weakness, luring it out. These are all great hints. These are all great hints. So we stand out here. See this big cliff here? He's going to get to it and he's going to jump. This boss is beaten. Look at his face. This guy is 100% helpless right now. This right here is what's called a mercy killing. He is miserable. He is currently being tortured. That's the reason I wanted to be unarmed is I'm going to pull out 1, 2, 3, and I'm punching him, doing no damage. Look at his health bar. Oh wait, 4, 5. His whole health bar depletes. He lets go and accepts his demise. That was a mercy killing. And there's a lore-specific reason why that is the case. And we'll get into that. But it has a lot to do with the NPC that we just met. Quaylana. So the theory is, and I'm not sure if this is confirmed in game or if this is just the understood theory. I believe it is confirmed in game though. Is that the witches of Izalith, the sisters of flame, had a brother. That guy, ceaseless discharge. And he was cursed. He bled lava constantly. And basically, he lived down here, and they crafted him a ring called the Orange Charred Ring that allowed him to withstand the pain of the lava leaving his body. He has lost that ring. It is no longer in his possession. And so he is being functionally tortured by the existence, or by his own existence. So when he jumped off that edge to try to attack us, we were not murdering him. We were putting him out of his misery, is what we were doing. And we're going to talk to... we're actually going to retrieve his ring. And that's going to give us some abilities that we're going to need moving forward. But we're going to learn some of this here in a bit. His ring actually, as it falls into the lava, because he dropped it. As it falls into the lava, it forms into a demon itself. And, yeah, it's a boss that we're going to fight later. His ring made living. So I won't go too much more into depth. Again, this is not a lore playthrough. I like the lore of this game a lot, and it's one of those things that's really hard to get into on your own, because you can play this game end to end and not have any clue what you've just seen or why you are where you are or anything like that. It just is not uncommon to play this game and just be like, oh, it's just random areas and random bosses because, you know, blah, 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 hard video game. And, you know, that's really not the case. She's just not concerned at all. Could care less about the battle going on next to us.
I was expecting you.
So we're going to talk to her.
I have a favor to ask.
Okay.
My mother, the Witch of Izalith, was one of the primeval lords. Her power came from the soul that she found near the first flame. She focused this power to light a flame of her own. But she failed to control.
These are why they're chaos pyromancies, because they're uncontrolled.
Engulfed mother and my sisters and molded them into deformed creatures.
Namely spider bitches.
And now I'm here. But my mother and sisters have been in anguish since. I beseech you, free mother and my sisters from the flame of chaos. I cannot do it myself. But you, I realize what I am asking. Mother's ambitions were misguided, no doubt. But surely 1,000 years of atonement is enough.
So she just made a cool timeline bit. This girl that we're talking to is at least 1,000 years old, by her own admission.
No luck. Well, but do not.
And her mother was the Witch of Izalith. Izalith is the land of the demons. Was the Witch of Izalith, who tried to recreate the first flame using fire magic, demonic fire magic, and failed to control it. And that is why we see chaos fire magic, much like the great chaos fireball that I could wing around right now. So we do have a friend named Laurentius who kind of taught us a bit of pyromancy, and he said that he was really excited because he wanted to seek out some ancient pyromancies. He wanted to learn some of the ancient techniques, and we have one of those. So I think it would be nice of us to go share it with him, yeah? I mean, he's been very, very helpful to us, and I think he only deserves that sort of kindness. Full disclosure, I don't normally do this storyline because it doesn't have a happy ending, but we're gonna do it because we gotta do it. We gotta do it. The reason I don't like this ending is because Laurentius is one of the good guys. I mean, he's specifically said the Pyromancer's flame is a part of their soul. It's a part of themselves. So when I gave you that flame, I gave you a part of myself. Please be careful with that. I mean, this is just a guy who had a lot of trouble meeting people, and just he was excited to become undead because he could pursue his one passion in life, which was pyromancy. And he never really got along with people, so becoming undead was never an issue for him. And he's just a nice guy who didn't really fit in normal society. Yeah, I mean, he's just a good guy. He really is. So when he says, hey, do you know where some ancient pyromancies are? My answer is, well, hell yeah, I do. I just went down to Blighttown and I found some. I talked to Quaylana of Izalith, daughter of the original witch. Oh, the original witch of Izalith. You should talk to her. Master to your master. So, we're going to let him know what we found. I don't like letting him know. You look pretty sick, I'm going to be honest. This is a getup I tend to run. This armor is really good. Better than it looks. Like, it doesn't look like it would offer much defensively, but it's actually pretty goddamn stout. Especially for the weight. It's not particularly heavy, and it does do quite a bit of, it has quite a bit of sustainability. So, we're not going to rest down here yet. Hey, buddy. Hey, what's up? How you doing, Moore?
You've been a stranger these days. Why? What's spectacular pyromancy? Tell me about it.
So he's referencing our Great Chaos Fireball. We have access to some of the ancient pyromancy that he's been looking for. Again, I don't like telling him, but we're going to tell him where it is. We're going to say, yep, found it in Blighttown.
Thank you for sharing. Still an able pyromancer. I shall locate it myself. Only you're dead once again.
Oh, please. So we're going to buy up his stuff.
The pyromancer's flame is a part
Yeah.
of the body. Flame develops right up. When I gave you that flame, I gave you a part of myself. Please take good care of it.
Yeah, he's just a really nice guy. So we're going to use a homeward bone. And that's going to take us back to the last bonfire we rested at, which is the one at the bottom of Blighttown. Actually, yeah, it's the one down here. We're gonna redo our pyromancy. We don't have enough attunement slots to mess with any double spells yet. We will get there. Where are you at, Combustion? There you are. Huh, I wonder. Probably not now. Probably not now. Just kidding. Just kidding. I was thinking out loud. Okay. So we just told our friend about the existence of ancient pyromancies down here. And he said he's going to go locate them. He's still an able pyromancer. He's going to go himself. Got it. So we're going to go back to where we found them and see if he made it. Spoiler alert, this is a sad-ass game. Alright, strange creature ahead. Yep, that's Quelaag. It's new today. Why wouldn't I? I normally stream Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays. No, I normally don't stream on Wednesday. That's why it was like a bonus stream. Because Wednesdays are normally the day I don't stream, but I left work early. There we go. We're not poisoned yet. Come on now. She did not give a single shit. Would you mind just coming over here so that I can just stab you? Or slash at you. I'll take a slash. Fine, we'll be poisoned. You don't want to get close to her, do ya? Yeah, the bugs don't like to attack close to Quaylana. The giants do not harbor such sensibilities, but the bugs will not attack close to her. Yeah, see how they immediately... They might... Actually, that's weird. I've never seen them attack this close, but see how they dip out? So... If you're looking off in the distance and you're seeing what I'm seeing, you're seeing an old pal of ours. It's a shame. The first thing that Quaylana said when we encountered her is, "Oh, you can see me." It's not often that walkers of flesh can see me. She's an ancient being. And it looks like he got so close to finding what he sought. Come here, man. And he apparently went hollow. He died and went hollow, and so now he's just crazily attacking us. Come here, man. I'll bring you over to her. She's right here. She's right here. This is the lady. Hey, here she is. He also is drawn away. I mean, he's not... for the same... I assume for the same reason that the bugs are, he's kind of unable to approach. I assume she has some kind of presence that makes it... makes most beings unable to approach her. Hey man, we can be friends. We were friends. Remember when you gave me that... I'm just gonna kill these bugs. Oh, I didn't mean to clip you there. That was just side swing. See, I could have riposted you, but I didn't. That means I'm a friend, right? So yeah, this guy is fully hollow. There's no way to save him. Our friend Laurentius, on our instruction, came down here, died and went hollow. And so he is no more. So now our only pyromancer teacher is Quaylana. Sad story. Especially considering he's a nice guy. You can see why I don't often tell him where to find pyromancy. Because he tends to die as a result of it. So we are also going to... What is... No way. Okay, so that... This is so cool that we see one of these. This is what's called a vagrant. This is an extremely rare spawn. No way. This is okay. I've actually never encountered a vagrant. I've encountered one. This is the second vagrant I've encountered in my life. Vagrants, for the longest time, the Souls community did not even know what a vagrant was or why it appeared. It's a shame that that one didn't stick around. Sometimes they try to fight you. So that's really cool. When somebody dies and has a large amount of souls and humanity on them, and then they fail to pick up that bloodstain, there is a chance, again, all these conditions have to be met, there is a chance that a vagrant will spawn in another random player's world at the location you died. So somebody died here with an excess of humanity on them, and they lost it. So that humanity goes somewhere, or it has a chance to go somewhere, specifically to another player's world. It's a very rare thing, especially now as players are significantly more experienced with the game. You don't see people running around with that much humanity anymore and losing it. I mean, I held on to the humanity item for a long time, so I didn't really run into that. The most I ever had was 30, and I used it immediately. Like, the guys that run around with a ton of humanity are generally very experienced players. You don't see them losing it often. That's really cool that we saw a Vagrant. That's an unbelievably rare spawn. A streamer that I watch, Lobos Jr., who has about 10,000 hours in Dark Souls 1, or maybe the series, I don't know. He said, an absurd amount. He speed runs, he does challenge runs, the whole nine, right? An absurd amount in this game. He says he's seen 3. Last time I heard him mention them. He's probably seen some since. This was a while ago that I heard him drop the 3 number, but he's seen 3. So we just encountered something very, very rare. Despite it being somewhat innocuous and didn't really do a hell of a lot. We could have killed it and claimed that if we were fast enough. The only other Vagrant I've ever seen fought back. It didn't run away, so I didn't realize I had to be quick for that one. The Souls community as a whole still doesn't know a lot about Vagrants. Or, I mean, we do now, but we didn't for a long time. So this is the hidden area. This is behind two hidden walls. This is that area I was telling you about earlier, that it's really cool that, this took time to design. Guys modeled this, and to hide all of this specifically for lore reasons shows a lot of respect to the narrative, and I have to appreciate it. That having been said, this area sucks. I mean, there's no way around it. There's up there. We gotta go. Okay. We gotta go back up. This area is 100% vertical. At least this part is. And it's a pain to traverse. If you want to try to get everything here, you are in for a not so much fun experience. Especially if one of the things you're trying to get is a really powerful ring, which I'm going to try to get right now. Ready, set. This is probably not going to work. Yeah! Perfect. Chloranthy ring. This is a ring that does the same thing as the Grasscrest shield. So now we have stamina regen. A crazy amount of stamina regen. Like, look at this. Boop, and it's back. Really, really powerful ring. especially when combined with the Chloranthy, or the Grass Crest Shield. That was why we came for that. This is the only other place where you can get cursed. Funnily enough. Oh my god, my curse resistance is so low. Okay, we can one-shot these guys with a two-handed R1. That's good. Oh my god, if we get cursed, I'm going to be so upset. So our curse resistance goes up with the amount of humanity we have. So we are going to use 5 of these, although that might be a mistake. I don't know how much we're going to gain from having 5 humanity, but I'm hoping it's going to be enough that we don't get cursed immediately. Because that curse bar was real tiny. Okay. Shit. Oh my god. Oh, there's a... You see the phantom that didn't make that jump? Yeah, this area is filled with stupid shit like that. Honestly. Filled to bursting with just these weird drops and awkward collision that just really fucks with the experience. But I mean, like I said, we're gonna do it. We're gonna make the trip. Large soul. We're gonna keep traveling downward. Is this the drop that we want to make? We don't want to... Or do we want to cross here? No, we don't want to cross here. That's where we just were. Oh, we want to go down this way. Again, this area is not very fun. I don't like it. There is one specific spot that I'm going to highlight that's just particularly terrible. Also, I kind of want to show you a trick. If you saw there was a crystal lizard there that just left, you can quit out and respawn in, and all the enemies will have returned to their original positions. So that crystal lizard will be back to where he started, although he didn't start down there. I think he was started above and fell down or something. So yeah, that tip would be helpful if the crystal lizard were here, but he's not. So this right here, this part right here is the worst design part, the worst program part in this whole game. There is for some reason collision, and you cannot walk through up here. In order to make it up here, you have to like sprint up the side, I think, and like make this jump. I don't really remember how to do it, but like there's a trick to it. Like you can't just run up here. Yeah, you have to just like run at it and go way over to the side. No idea why that was not fixed. No clue why it was not fixed. But if you end up, there's a bonfire at the bottom of this, and if you end up resting down there before you know how to teleport, you have to run back up. And a lot of playthroughs of people who don't know the ins and outs of the game have ended because they just didn't think they could get out of here, that there was some invisible wall holding them in. And honestly, there kind of was. It's just, it's a quirk. It was with the original game. It was around and remastered. I don't know why it is. It has yet to have been explained to us, but if you are playing Dark Souls for the first time, or just any time really, you will later get the ability. Yeah, like it meant to be there, but there's no way. Like, it's just a weird... It's like it was that way in the first one, and they didn't change much of the actual level geometry with remastered. But that's a specific part that they definitely should have gone back and fixed. Okay, so we do have significantly more curse resistance now, so that's good. Not a ton, but enough that we can run around and not fear for our lives constantly. So we're going to slay these guys real quick. Pretty sure there's one more. Oh, well, I don't see him. Maybe there isn't. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Keep working our way down. And again, there's some fancy drops you can make for some interesting items. I might come back here after I'm able to teleport and try some stuff. Try doing some drops for some items. There's nothing in this tree other than the Chloranthy ring, which we already have, that's specifically necessary. It's a lot of like soul items and stuff. We do have some more, some more of our little mushroom friends. They're a little bit more hostile than the ones in the forest. Specifically the little ones. They kind of run at you, but they're equally avoidable. There's a few big ones down here as well. They're not super hostile unless you attack a little one, at which point they go apeshit. So I tend to just try to avoid all of them. I mean, it's much easier to not piss off any of them. They're easy enough to avoid. This is Ash Lake. The ominous music is fitting here. This is in Bloodborne. You break the Estus against your leg. It's a syringe. You inject yourself with blood. Yeah. You give yourself an on-the-spot transfusion. So this is a Lake of Ash. This is the domain of dragons. These are the arch trees, I believe. This is beneath the world. We have traveled down the Great Hollow. This whole area is hidden behind 2 secret walls. You not only had to discover a secret wall, but discover a secret wall in the secret wall. Oh yeah, this is ancient. This is this is foreboding, and it's supposed to be. This is us going places where people haven't set foot in a long time. Very, very cool location. Has a lot of lore implications. So many lore implications. And do you recall at the start of the game when I said we're going to meet an everlasting dragon? There is one, at least one, that still lives. Has not had his scales of immortality taken. We are going to meet him soon. This is the Hydra that we encountered at the lake. This is the second encounter of the Hydra. He is very pissed that we're here. We're going to do... there's kind of a neat little chase sequence that we're going to do. Yeah, this thing is a motherfucker, for sure. Shit. Give me cover. And so, you know, we're hiding behind this dune. He's going to be blasting us with fireballs, or not fireballs, but with those water balls. And so we're going to keep running. And you think, hey, you got away from him. Boom! Look at this friggin' thing. We just got free willied by a boss that wants nothing more than to murder us. And now we have to run past him again. This is a neat little chase sequence. And yeah, it does seem kind of like he's guarding. So this is not an ancient dragon. Oh yeah, yeah, I could see that. We actually can get some purging stones and twinkling titanite from these. These are actually good to farm. So we're going to try to fight this guy. We're going to switch to a shield with 100% poise. Or 100% physical block. We're just going to do the spider shield. That's kind of been our go-to other shield for a while. Hey there, guy. Do your attack where you hit us with your head and not your... He's just so imposing. Like... Oh, shit. This one is significantly more powerful than the one in the lake earlier. We actually might not even really be able to kill him. We're gonna hit him with a fireball. Oh, we knocked a head off with a fireball. Nice. Oh yeah, we're gonna kill the shit out of this guy. There's another head. Is it a Hydra that guards hell? Cerberus, the three-headed dog, is the Greek. Or I think it's Roman. I'm not sure exactly. So we're gonna work our way through this guy. He is significantly stronger, but that doesn't mean it's much more of a difficult fight. Especially once you remove one of the heads, it becomes significantly easier. Especially because, like, now, as a character, we're much more capable. Alright, so we're out of fireballs. We only have 4 of them since it's a stronger spell. Yeah, Hercules. It was one of the trials of Hercules. Was the Hydra. Alright, cool. We actually are doing more damage to this thing than we have to. So we're probably going to kill it before all the heads are severed. And I think the reason for that is because of that great fireballs that we threw. Ow, dick. Hey, stop it with that. Slam your heads down. Do that again, but not with so much dust, please. And that is the Hydra guarding Ash Lake. Another thing worth noting What the hell was this skull to? Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's much... This one is much more difficult than the previous one. That's without question. I mean, we can kill the previous one. We can and have. I mean, I have spawned, taken a brand new character, and gone and killed the first one. I could never do that with this one. He's just hit significantly harder. You can't block him. Used a little bit of Estus for my trouble, but... So we're going to explore this tree real quick. This is another... Oh, wait, this is another another hollow tree. It's not nearly as large as the last one, but it has a few items in it that we want to get. Try down, so you kind of want to just drop. It's a weird drop. Ah, yes, perfect. And you get Great Magic Barrier. It is a ability that allows you to basically repel magic cast at you. It's a sorcery, I believe. I believe it's sorcery. If you'd have asked me at one point, I'd have been 100% sure it was a sorcery, but for some reason I'm doubting myself right now, so I'm 90% sure it's a sorcery. I also just realized we missed an item over here. We're gonna grab... God, this doesn't look fun to get. Another dragon scale. These are upgrade materials for any dragon weapon. We never did get the Drake sword, but the sword that red dragon at the first area of the game, we can cut his tail off and get a weapon from it. That would have upgraded with the dragon scales. So, again, we are about to see what a real everlasting dragon looks like. If you're familiar at all with the lore of this game, you will know this is a major thing that one of them still survived. Ow. Oh my god, I can't die to the freaking snail before I get to him. So heavy attacks do stagger the snails, so you can kind of do this over and over, but it does consume a lot of stamina. If all you're fighting is one at a time, then that's a great way to do it. Not always the best thing. I do find it noteworthy. They have a bunch of skulls in there instead of pearls. Yeah, clam. Sorry, I don't know why I kept saying snail. Yeah, instead of pearls, though, they have skulls in there, and they drop Titanite as well as they also dropped purging stones, which are actually skulls. So, interesting. Alright. Without further ado... I give you an everlasting dragon. Just for context, as lore important as this is, I want to remind you, this was behind multiple hidden walls. This was, you had to know. And this bonfire is already lit. You see that he's more mineral than he is physical. I mean, he's about as living as a mountain. And we can enter a covenant with him. We're not going to join. We are still part of the Chaos Servants, and we need to stay there for a gameplay consideration. But here's why you know he's an everlasting dragon. This tail right here. Dragon Greatsword. He was there at the beginning, yes. Before there was life, there was him. Dragon Greatsword. 50 strength weapon. Hits like a bus. Here's how you know he's everlasting. Look at his health bar. He has a health bar. It's at 0. He doesn't care. You cannot, even by modifying the game files, kill this creature. He has unlimited hit points. He will always have enough hit points to weather an attack. Like I said, you can set his hit points to 0 in the game file. You can modify this game. That character doesn't die. Full stop. There's no way to do it. Yeah, he is. And, like I said, you can enter a covenant with him. And you can... There's some cool stuff you can do. That, had I not already done the Quelaag stuff, I would show you. But yeah, this is an extremely, extremely lore significant character, and we will be back. 100%. But when I told you that you shouldn't rest at any bonfires down here, the reason I said that is because now if I use a homeward bone, I will teleport back out to the top. I cannot tell you, I could not put into words how many times a player has probably gone down only to find themselves having to struggle to get back out of that ridiculous place. The tree, the climb is a pain. We're going to up our attunement. We do want to get a few more spell slots for some pyromancies. But yeah, that is the everlasting dragon. We're going to make our way back to Firelink. And we're going to meet one more NPC before we call for the evening. Yeah. I mean, we're at kind of a turning point in the game where we're going to start seeing a lot of the stories unfold. Again, I wish I was more... I don't want to say more knowledgeable, because I know a lot of the stories. I wish I was more... I wish I was better equipped to deliver them. To deliver a lot of the stories, or rather had enough time to, you know, talk through a lot of the stories that this game tells. But they're there 100%, and they are significant. Really, really cool stuff. The lore in this game is very interesting, if you're willing to dig for it, because the stories are not told to you. You have to find them. I've always kind of described Dark Souls as, it's not the story of this character. This character you're seeing in front of you, it is not the story of this guy. It is the story of the world. And you're discovering it as you explore it. Your character, outside of what you named him at the start, isn't really called anything other than Chosen Undead. And we already know that Chosen Undead doesn't really mean anything. We just got out of prison. You know, we aren't inherently chosen by any outside force that we know of. We are only chosen because we escaped from prison. And there's lots of other undead who have also made it out of prison. I mean, Laurentius is one. The Crestfallen Warrior is one. The second we get out of prison and think that we're hot shit, we realize there's a bunch of other people that, you know, that aren't locked up anymore. So we are one cog in a big machine. Yeah, a drop in the pond. Exactly. Exactly. And that's going to be how the story of these games tie together. Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3. Because they do take place centuries apart from one another, but they do have a similar story. Oh, can you guys hear Lilith? Lilith found herself a squeak toy in the hallway. That's all right though. Nothing too huge that we're gonna have to do. It's okay if there's a little squeaking in the background for this part. I still love that emote. That's the best emote on Twitch. I'm gonna take that opinion to my grave. So yeah, these are actually some of the best armor that we can have. It's interesting. As of right now, this robe is some of the best stuff. Hands down, 100%. 100%. Alright, so... Laurentius. Oh.
That is incredible. It's noisy.
It snores and its breath is lethal. It's no laughing at it. We heard snores earlier. I wonder what he's talking about. So now, see, we can pick from 3 covenants: Path of the Dragon, Chaos Servant, and the Forest Hunters. We heard snores in here. And this pool has been drained. And this dude opened up and popped his head out.
Hello. Was it you who rang the bell of awakening? I am the primordial serpent, King Seeker Frowned, close friend of the great Lord Wind.
So this is...
Do you seek?
He's asking us, you rang both bells of awakening. We were told that something was going to happen. That's all we were told. This is going to happen. He goes, do you want to know what it means? Sure.
Very well. Then I am pleased to share. Chosen undead, your fate is to succeed the great Lord Wind, so that you may link the fire, cast away the dark, and undo the curse of the undead. To this end, you must visit Anor Londo and acquire the Lord Vessel.
So we need to go to Anor Londo and acquire the Lord Vessel. So what this guy does, you can feed him items and he gives you some souls. He's a good way to get rid of stuff that you don't need. We're not really going to be doing that, but we could. He's also a good way to feed. We have 6 green shards. So if we feed green Titanite shard to him, he gives us regular Titanite shards. And because green Titanite shards are so easy to get for us now, this is a way to farm and build up a number of weapons and build up your arsenal. Yeah, you can break down, like if you find a high level crafting equipment, you can feed it to him and it'll give you a bunch of low level stuff. That way you can build weapons up and catch them up. So you don't have to farm low level stuff. He actually serves a lot of gameplay considerations. He also gave us the instructions to go to Anor Londo to get the Lord Vessel, and that's where we're going to be heading next. I do want to show something though. So he doesn't do this now, but he does. He is a little concerned with our safety. Wow. Okay, so actually, just kidding. Just kidding. He's not that... I'm going to mark that death because I did not know that that was going to happen. The reason I didn't know that was going to happen is because I thought something else was going to happen. And I guess we have to wait till we get the Lord Vessel before that happens. Alright. So we'll wait. We'll wait. There will be something cool that happens when we do that next time. Provided we get the Lord Vessel next time. It might be a few episodes. Anyway, that has been Blighttown and the Ash Lake. We made a lot of progress with our direction in the game. We know kind of what we need to get done. Yeah, we learned a lot today. I also want to show you a spell because there are some really cool pyromancies. I kind of want to cast one. I want to cast Chaos Storm. It's really cool. So we have 20 casts of it. But, you know, we're going to use all of them at once because you don't have a choice. So we have some cool magic now. Oh, wait. We used 17 of them. Yeah, we got a mini one after the fact. So that's pretty cool. We're not going to use that. It's not a particularly powerful... It's not a particularly good spell. It's a very powerful spell. We're actually going to do regular Fireball and Combustion again. Because what I might do is I might actually, in between this and the next episode, or this and when we start up at the start of next week, I might do some farming, build up some different weapons. You know, that way we can see some other stuff than the Bastard Sword. Yeah, Firestorm's a really cool spell. It is a shame that it's not that good. Because the pillars come up at random, enemies can literally just walk through and hit you, and the animation is so long. It really suffers from RNG dependence. So what I'm going to do is... Yeah, I know. I wish that there were situations where... Bosses with particularly large hitboxes and slow attacks it can be used against, but... Honestly, with the amount of time it takes to cast, you'd almost be better just smacking at them with a weapon. We might try to find a way to use it, though. We might. But we are going to, like I said, we're going to call it for the evening. When we come back, I might be using a different weapon just to mix it up a little bit. I'm going to try not to level too much. I might try to use this Zweihander, actually. Brr. This seems much more like a strength weapon, don't you think? Like, this feels like a strength weapon. I'm kind of thinking of the Zweihander. It is the Ultra Greatsword. I would like to eventually use this. Blurg. Which is the tail of that great dragon. But right now, we're not even strong enough to wield it in two hands. We're not even close. So we might have a Zweihander built up next time. Oh, gross. Our rolls are no good, though. How do we fix that? Do we have to go back to the parry shield for a while? No, we can't. All right. So what we'll probably do... can we equip Havels right now? Oh, well, we'll have come up with a solution. I'll probably... I will more than likely have leveled up my my endurance, which will allow me to wear a bigger variety of equipment. So that way we can see some of these big old strength weapons in action, and I'm not rolling around like a big dumb idiot. But I can keep this fast roll going. So, alright guys, thank you so very much for watching. My name is Jacob, otherwise known as JayJax. This has been Dark Souls 1, Ash Lake, and Blighttown, the front way. Very happy to never come back there again. Other than that, guys, have a great evening, and I will see you with a new weapon next week. Bye.